What is going on, We Do Transformation Coach? It is your boy, Brian Mark, and let's go over the 5-step process to overcoming any objection and go into how to overcome the actual spouse objection itself. So again, let's quickly review. The 5-step process is to isolate their objection, feel, felt, found, give them a case study, ask for enrollment, and if that doesn't work, you want to go for a deposit. So somebody's like, I need to talk to my spouse. This is the first thing I do. I'm like, okay, I can totally appreciate that. Sometimes we definitely got to run things by our significant others. Does your spouse know that we're speaking today? And they're always going to be like, yeah, they know we're talking. I mentioned I was going to get on the phone with you. Or they're going to be like, no, they don't know we're talking. Either way, you're like, okay, cool. So do they support your fitness journey? Which is obviously, they're going to be like, yeah, he supports my fitness journey. So here's what we're going to say. Okay, so listen, I totally appreciate how you feel. In fact, a lot of my best clients felt the same way. They felt like they had to check with their spouse before they made any major decision. What we usually find is that the spouse is on board for major transformations and better in their life. So let me ask you, if we got you the results that we wanted and you were able to lose 20 pounds and feel super confident in your body, do you think that they'd be on board with that? Well, yeah, you'd be pretty excited. And honestly, I get it. Like one of my clients, John, was in the same situation like you. He felt like he needed to check with his spouse. But when John committed on the phone, he put down a deposit. He told his spouse afterwards that this is something he wanted to do. We finally got to work on his fitness goals. He was a lot more fulfilled. He was a lot more happy. And he got the body he wanted. And now his wife literally freaking loves me. So let me ask you, do you think your spouse would be happy if we helped you lose 20 pounds to get the body that you wanted? Like, well, yeah, I think so. Okay, great. So it sounds like you're ready to get started. Did you want to do the deposit or did you want to just go for it? Right? So when we get the spouse objection, the first two questions I always ask is, okay, cool. So I totally appreciate that. Does your spouse know that we're speaking today? Yep. Yeah, I love it. So do they support your fitness journey? And they're always going to say yes. Then I use feel, felt, found. Okay, I totally get that. I get how you feel. And a lot of my clients felt the same way with their fitness goals. They felt like they needed to check with their spouse before they made any major decision. But what we usually find is that the spouse is on board when it comes to bettering your life and doing anything that makes you feel amazing. So let me ask you, if I helped you get the body that you wanted, would your spouse be on board with that? Yeah, he totally would. Cool. I love it. And honestly, you remind me of one of my clients, John. And just like you, he felt like he needed to check with his spouse before he moved forward. But we got him to commit on the phone. He put down a deposit. He talked to his spouse. At the end of it, he lost the program and he joined the program and he was able to lose 30 pounds. He literally feels amazing. So let me ask you, if we helped you get the body that you wanted, do you think you're supposed to be on board with that? 100%. Okay, great. So let's get you started. Did you want to do the deposit or did you want to just go for it? But they're like, but B Mark, what if the spouse isn't supportive of their goals? That's a great question. So what if you ask, like, does your spouse support your goals? And they're like, no. Then this would be an opportunity for you to coach them on how they need to make a better decision for themselves. I would say something like this. Okay, so I totally appreciate that. Does your spouse know we're speaking today? Mm-hmm. And does he support your fitness journey? Oh, he doesn't. Okay, well, how long has that been a thing? And has there been instances in the past where you've tried to commit to your fitness goals and he hasn't supported it? There has? Okay. Do you think that maybe that's part of the reason you are right now and you haven't been able to transform? I can totally appreciate how you feel. In fact, a lot of my best clients felt the same way. They felt like they needed to check with their spouse before they made a major decision. But what we found is that when the spouse isn't on board to transform, they hold themselves back from achieving their own goals. And that's why people remain stuck. And so with my clients, what we found is when we actually make the investment, we commit to ourselves and we do this for ourselves. That's where real transformation happens. One of my clients, Jane, she made the commitment. Her spouse wasn't on board. But once she started to get happier, get healthier, and get stronger, everything felt better. So do you want to start doing something for yourself today? Or would you rather continue doing the same thing you've been doing? Yeah, you want to make a change, right? So are you willing to allow this pattern to continue? Or are you ready to get started with me today and finally take control of your life and your weight loss journey? So basically what you want to do is you want to let them know that the reason that they're at where they're at is because they keep doing the same things without offending them. The key to do this is to ask the right questions. Overcoming objection, I write this down. Overcoming objections is about asking the right questions. So I need to talk to my spouse, feel, felt, found. Isolate their objection, feel, felt, found, give them a case study, ask for enrollment, ask for deposit. They'll give you a yes, they'll say, let's go for it, or no, I need to check with my spouse. And 90% of the time, you guys, when they say they have to check with their spouse, 90% of the time, you won't get a full commitment on the phone. And if you do get a full commitment, sometimes you'll have to offer refunds. And that's just, I'm just being honest with you. So I usually will get a deposit when people will need to check for their spouse. So when you're asking for the deposit, you want to say this. Okay, I totally get it. So let's do this. Take the night, talk it over with your spouse and let them know. But what I'll get you to do right now is I'll get you to put down a $50 deposit as a representation of your commitment to your fitness goals. And if you talk to your spouse and he's on board and he wants you to change your life, we'll move forward tomorrow. And if he says no, I'll just send you your money back. No questions asked. I just want to see that you're committed to the program. Is that okay? Now, what I usually found, you guys, is when overcoming these spouse objections, that if you just go for a full enrollment, you end up getting backlash because, like, you know, the spouse basically feels like they're getting undercut. But I'm not willing to accept anything that's not a yes nor a deposit.